Hi guys, I'm Running Kid here. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome back. Uh, I am here, guys, because I really to take some time, and I wanted to really give a kind of an in-depth thought vid on the recent news that's kind of coming out of the Doctor Strange realm, um, in terms of Miss Tilda Swinton. Uh, Definitely. I wanted to really kind of get real. I kind of gave like a really quick assessment on it when I heard the news broke, but I really want to kind of. I thought about it, gave it a couple of days to really get my thoughts across more in depth, and maybe the people that are kind of iffy about it, and like why they're doing this, maybe kind of see it also from another point of view. That's kind of how I start looking at things as well now. Definitely with these types of movies, is especially with casting, you got to look at it from another point of view than just hence the comic side, of which I kind of now I'm really starting to really kind of take that side of me out of when I go see these movies or something. Is like, all right, you got to stay home now. You stay here and I go. That's kind of how I look at it. Now, it has been reported that Miss Tilda Swinton is in talks with Marvel to play a role in the Doctor Strange movie. Now, I've been preaching a lot, saying that I'm so looking forward to this because of the fact that, yes, this opened up the doors for the Marvel supernatural side of that universe. We will see those. This could be the branch and open up all those supernatural characters, and I can go down a whole list of characters that could be introduced now because of Doctor Strange. Not, I'll name, like not just villains, but Damien Hellstrom. The demon Zarathos, who will later become the Ghost Rider. Nightmare, Shamagoth, Mephisto. Just all these different characters. Blade, for God's sakes. Maybe we finally can introduce vampires into the world. Just a lot of things. But with Tilda Swinton, her character is said she's supposed to be playing the Ancient One. Let that sink in for a while, shall we? The Ancient One. The Ancient One is the mystic, the mentor of Doctor Strange, who taught him the mystic arts and literally passed the torch of the Sorcerer Supreme onto Doc Strange, Stephen Strange, after he lost his ability, the delicate ability what a neurosurgeon is supposed to have in the field of neurosurgery. He lost that. Now, once again, now in the comics, the classic comic that Steve Ditko and Stan Lee created, the Ancient One was a very wise and elderly Tibetan male character. Let that sink in for a while. You hear what I just said? So basically an Asian character. Now, my first logic of choice was saying, here we go once again, the trend of Hollywood, whitewashing Asian characters. Now, that was my first assessment, like, yeah. But after a while, and listening to other people's views on it, there are some points of why I can see why they may have changed it. Because in many Hollywood movies, it's always been kind of a stereotype for like that kind of character, like this ancient or wise seeing male character who's got a long white beard and things like that. You think straight off, oh, he's an Asian guy, Asian guy. And then also you gotta look at, the time period when Doctor Strange first came out. It wasn't really, it was different back then. It was especially 60s and 70s, it was looked at differently, but now, we're living in an age now where, some, that could be also looked at as politically incorrect. Like, some people may take that a little bit differently, especially people of Asian ancestry. I can understand that from a certain point of view of like, oh, is that what you think of what we all are? We're all, it's that stereotype. Also, in terms of, all Asians know martial arts. That's not true. That's not true. So I can also see it from that point of view where, Marvel is looking at it from a point of like, okay, we can't pull that off. And the same thing, as much as I hated it, but I have to agree a little bit of what they said about the Mandarin. He's like, I think there have been a lot of videos that played up that, Marvel is going to really get away with the character calling himself the Mandarin, this stereotypical Asian character, and, he's a villain, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you got to look also through the eyes of that point of view. It's like Marvel, they want to kind of distance themselves a little bit from their source material and maybe go a little bit different, as well as what a lot of my friends are saying. You got to remember, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people, so there are going to be some differences, and I also looked at from another friend's point of view of saying that what if the Ancient One in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is more of a title that's been passed on from somebody else to another, in a sense of kind of how they have done the Ra's al Ghul character in the DC TV universe. It's like it's a title, it's been passed on. So I also can see that as well. And then, of course, you got to also remember is that the Ancient One can shapeshift. So what if this is the form that the Ancient One is taking now in this universe? Is like, that's also another point of view. But I still feel that they still could have done this. Not saying that it's happening, but I still feel that it could have been done with, you want to keep the essence of the Ancient One's character being Asian, then you could have went female with. If you wanted to keep it, change the gender, then you could have gone with a female Asian actress to play that role. And there are a whole slew of Asian actresses that I feel that could have suited this role so well. The first one that comes to my mind right now, right at the top of my head, is Michelle Yeoh, or Kwan, or how some people pronounce it differently. I feel that she could have pulled this role off very well, because I feel that she has the right amount of stardom, sophistication, and people, especially of this side of the world, in terms of the Western Hemisphere, know who she is, and would have been like, that's believable. I can take her. And there have been roles in the past she's taken that has that all-seeing, all-knowing side of what is the essence of the Ancient One. So I could have seen her playing it as well. I think I'm not the only one that has said that, but there are many other Asian women that could have played it. But, we've been seeing this a lot lately with Asian characters that are, or adaptations of Asian characters that are now being brought over here, and they're being changed, to, so to speak, Caucasian women. Another one right off the back of my head is the Major from Ghost in the Shell, who is going to be reportedly played by Scarlett Johansson. Lord knows I have a lot of respect and love for Miss Johansson. I do respect her as an actress, and I think she is really well and talented. But, however, Major is an Asian woman, so why wasn't she an Asian woman cast? And then you hear once again people saying that, well, it's the studios looking at it from this point of view. And in the sense they need someone who can bring in this. Is it correct? Should it have been that way? I don't agree with that, but in their point of view, and in some people's eyes, maybe it was the right decision. But this has been kind of a trend for a lot of women and actors of color. I'm not just saying that just because I'm a person of color, is because of it. You see that, and the fact is, we want to see more diversity, and especially these superhero movies. So they may have changed the role of the Ancient One to being a woman who is British and who is Caucasian or white, But with Miss Swinton, I think she kind of could maybe pull off that role in terms of the roles we've seen her in the past. I mean, she's played the White Queen, the White Witch, or the Ice Witch in the Narnia series, and I thought she was really good as that role. It's like, yeah, that fits her. And then she pulled off Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, in the Constantine movie, and that was a shock. And it was because of that role she won an award for. She won her Oscar or Academy Award, I think, Best Supporting Actress for that role. I was, whoa, she won an award for that. So I'm not discrediting this as a whole. I'm looking at it also from different sides of the glass. I'm looking at it also from the point of, like, maybe, Marvel and Kevin Feige want to, make a point and look, okay, we respect what the source material had, but you got to also look at it from that point of view of it's a different time period, and and then I'm looking at it also from a point of not being Asian myself, but I do have a lot of Asian friends, and I don't think, and I think they would also look at it from a point of like, that's kind of a stereotype, don't you think? It's kind of, in a sense, like saying all crackheads are black. That's a stereotype, or, all African American or Latino American, we're all in gangs. We all live that thug life or something, stuff like that. It's a stereotype. I'm not saying that it's incorrect, but it is kind of a stereotype because not all Latin African American are in gangs. So you also got to look at it from that point of view. Now, the Ancient One is one point, but there is another highly publicized ancient character in this Doctor Strange universe. His partner, Wong. Wong, in the beginning, was this kind of stereotypical bald, he looked like a Shaolin monk character who was pretty much his Strange's like servant, manservant. Now, could you see something like that in a modern era Doctor Strange movie now? Honestly, I don't really see that coming off logical in terms of point of view now of Wong, coming in and, oh, Doctor, and bowing to him and things like that. The best way, I think, and I just recently watched IGN talk about it as well, the best way of doing it is almost, in a sense, how, you say what you want about it, the movie, but how they did Kato in the recent Green Hornet movie. He was kind of like a butler-esque servant, but he was very much a partner. And I think that's definitely how you got to pull off Wong now in the modern take of Doctor Strange. show him that he's a wise, knowing Asian character. Now for me, I do feel that that character needs to stay Asian. That, I can't see a Caucasian or African American or Latin character being called Wong, and you'd be like, wait, what? Like, no, that's not gonna cut it. Now, for me, that character needs to stay the ethnicity of what Stanley and Steve Ditko made back in the 60s. But I think you got to really update that character a lot to really set a point of like, okay, that's believable. That's understandable in terms of, okay, yeah, he's Asian, but he's not your stereotypical manservant. And I really hate to use that, butler and things like that. But, I think he's really has to stand on his own. As Wong is a great character. He doesn't just stand in the background while Strange is doing all the mystic arts. And no, he's by the Doctor's side, and he's fighting alongside him. So that's how I feel now. The way they did Wong in the Doctor Strange animated movie could work too. That's, I think, could work as well. But you definitely have to look at it also from the political side, because also Marvel wants to put this out all over the globe, and you put something like that out where if you want to hit the Asian market, it may not sell well, because of, you just don't want to look at it from that point of view, and and that goes vice versa, because we've seen, a lot of characters of color in Asian marketing, and they look a little bit different, and you're like, whoa, let's call it. I mean, as much as I love Akira Toriyama, but let's look at Mr. Popo, for example. I don't care if he's supposed to be, if it's just that color, but look at that, it's like, whoa, like, you look at it politically, like, whoa, like, is Mr. Popo supposed to be African American black, and that's how you look at, black, big pink lips, that's a stereotype, of African characters that go back to the damn near 30s, it's you got to look at it from that point of view, and that's kind of how I'm looking at this with Miss Swinton as the Ancient One. Is like, is this set right? Said, okay, we got to look at it from that point of view, or okay, maybe we ought to change a little bit things, change some things that maybe we don't want to set a stereotype of all Asian characters. Yeah, we went right for it. We went right for an Asian character, and he's gonna be an older, elderly, long bearded Asian male character. That's kind of a stereotype, and it's kind of that set trend that I think we as the general public and as we need to kind of get away from. Is like, okay, not all elderly Asian males look like that, or Asian characters in general look like that. It's still a common trend in Hollywood with characters of color, where there's still kind of that set trend of, like, if you're gonna be Asian, almost like you have to know martial arts. It's like, that's not true, things like that, But other than that, I am still very open to the idea. Now, if she's not going to be a character of the Ancient One, and if she's going to be Clea, okay, there's another good choice. But if she's going to be the Ancient One, there are my eyes, the Omni-Geek High Lord of New York's eyes are going to be wide open for this, and not closed and like yeah, like, this is stupid casting. You know, no, because, and it's not even because she's a woman. No, I, that's fine by me. Like, if they'd have said right at the back, Marvel Cinematic Universe Asian one's gonna be female, I'd have been like, oh, okay, this is even before they announced this, I'd have been fine with it. But I still think that they still can keep the essence of the Ancient One's character, and I still would have been fine if they would have went with an Asian female character. But if it is, I'm going to be open about it, guys. That's just me. I'm not going to look at it with my eyes really closed, wide shut, and not, because the comic geek in me is kind of like, that's not true. What the hell? Like, why are they changing it? No, keep it what it is. But now that the more these movies come out, and the more you start seeing things change or something, that's where you really got to take that comic part of you out of yourself and literally put him down or her down and be like, look, you stay here, or we have a talk, where you have a stern talking with your side, and like, they got to change some things because of, look at the time that we live in. We live in an era, it's different timing now, but it's just how it is sometimes, but that's my in-depth thought on this, guys. I really took some time to do this. I really wanted to just didn't want to come out and bash the idea like I've seen on forums and on the internet, just bashing it right away. I really wanted to give an in-depth into it. So, honestly, and can you understand the point of view that I'm trying to make, guys? Not as just, what do you think about this casting, or if it is a true casting. It hasn't been confirmed yet. It says she's in talks of playing a role in the Doctor Strange movie. The only casting we know is Cumberbatch as Strange. But you see where I'm going at with this. We'll have to see. But my eyes are open. How about you? And other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid. I'm the Geek High Lord of New York. Hoping to hear from my other Geek High Lords and ladies. And what do you think of this news? Other than that, you guys take care.